Unpopular opinion, bodybuilding is not a great sport for mental health. This is a tough topic to talk about. Personally, I don't think it's surprising at all that physique competitors can suffer with body image issues. It is essentially a sport dedicated to trying to obtain the self-perceived perfect physique. It is judged primarily on aesthetics, not performance, not health. Top competitors can commonly have entire training phases dedicated towards developing weak points that the general population wouldn't even think about. Yeah, my upper body is good, but my medial deltoid it doesn't quite have the width that I'm looking for. So my lower body is looking good, but my glute hamstring tines just don't have the striations that I want. One study surveyed female weightlifters and control subjects. Significantly more female weightlifters were terrified of becoming fat, had obsessions towards food, used laxatives for weight control, and had previously suffered with anorexia. A systematic review concluded that muscle dysmorphia symptomology was more common in bodybuilders than non-bodybuilding resistant trainers. These studies had primarily male subjects. And this poses an interesting question. Do individuals with these characteristics gravitate towards the sport, or does the sport exacerbate these characteristics within individuals? A chicken and egg scenario, except maybe it's not a binary choice. There have been proposed similarities in the psychological profiles of competitive male bodybuilders and anorexia nervosa sufferers with regards to obsessive and perfectionistic tendencies. One study evaluating bodybuilders and men with eating disorders showed raised levels of body dissatisfaction compared to controls, but in opposite directions. I.e., rather than being fat-phobic, they were phobic of not having enough muscle mass. Even if these associations are because people with perfectionistic tendencies gravitate towards the sport of bodybuilding, it is entirely possible that characteristics of the sport can exacerbate these issues. For example, in one study, female participants specifically admitted to struggling with post-contest weight gain. One woman believed that competitors entering the sport with a negative relationship towards food could be screwed mentally forever. And many confessed that some of the practices they engaged in were unhealthy, but they were willing to do whatever it takes. And this isn't going to come as a surprise to a lot of people. Some contest prep diets are notoriously brutal, with a list of prohibited foods as long as my arm. I have seen contest diet plans where the only foods people were allowed to eat were white meat, white fish, and green vegetables for 12 weeks. That's it, nothing else. And other behavioural patterns involved in the sport could be involved in exacerbating issues in some individuals. Examples include possible associations between obsessive use of fitness and calorie trackers and eating disorder symptomology. Regular self-weighing may be a useful tool for improved weight loss, but may be linked to worse psychological outcomes in some individuals. Due to mixed research on these practices, there is a hypothesis that these behaviours could be detrimental when implemented rigidly rather than flexibly, i.e. people weighing themselves several times a day, or freaking out if they don't hit their precise macronutrient targets or exercise targets for that specific day. So the question is, if someone definitely wants to compete in bodybuilding, what are some strategies that could help mitigate these issues? Here's a quick summary of some hypothetical strategies which might help. In the contest prep phase, a non-dichotomous view towards food, moderate versus rapid weight loss rates, macronutrient intake ranges versus precise targets, flexible meal schedules, scheduled and supervised physique assessments, and intermittent dieting strategies such as diet breaks. In the post-contest phase, a quantified, tapered, and substantial energy surplus. The goal of returning to off-season body weight within 1 to 2 months, and an intentional focus to transitioning towards an intuitive eating approach with regards to hunger signals. And in the off-season, primarily internally guided energy intake. Maintain sport-supportive nutrition habits rather than relying strictly on tracking, using biofeedback to regulate energy intake, and use a qualitative approach towards biofeedback, like being less full after meals. So that's it. The hardcore bodybuilding world can be a dangerous place with regards to mental health. If you decide to embark on the journey, just be aware of the potential issues so you can make the best choices for yourself.